Okay, can you say what you were saying again, please?
I didn't take the child's pose during the exercise. I was scanning for it, but I didn't feel like I was ready for it yet because I was really enjoying the stretches. And while the child's pose is in its own way a kind of stretch, I wasn't ready for that one yet. I was just really very aware of how good the other ones were feeling it.
So that's great. It's to not want to do child's pose because you're having so much fun with yoga is fantastic. I was also just saying that sometimes whatever happens on the yoga mat can be almost a microcosm of what's happening in your life. And we say that a lot about therapy as well, but I think it's also sometimes true of yoga. And, you know, Amanda, it doesn't surprise me that you said what you said, because basically you're just saying that you have so much natural enthusiasm, you know, that you want to take a rest if you need it, but otherwise you just want to go, and that's great. I would encourage you to also just, you know, trust that even child's pose is going to be fun. It's going to feel amazing. But whatever it is, I think you bring a positive attitude to it, and so it's going to be pleasant, you know, at least for the most part. Nobody's pleasant and positive all the time. We wouldn't expect you to be, but that's great that you're just having positivity. I should be careful, though, I think, in the group, because I'm nervous about saying things like that, because I don't want other people then to feel like they better say something positive, and if they say something that they were struggling, it means that they're just struggling in life or something. Anyway, so Catherine, how was it for you?
If it wasn't positive for shame.
No, it was horrible. I enjoyed doing the 3-part breath beforehand, and then incorporating the sun salutation, which we had done previously. So using a new breathing technique with moves that we had previously done. I liked experiencing it, even though it was the same thing, in a different way, because the 3-part breath beforehand.
Neat. And so how was it different? I mean, the experience different?
Just noticing my breathing while I'm exercising or stretching, because I do enjoy exercising, and your breathing is very important, and it's something that I don't always pay attention to, and that you need to, because it's an essential part of kind of what gets you through your workout. And so just it made me more aware of it.
That makes sense. Yeah. So one of the things that I love about this yoga emotion idea with body-mind connection is that I think we'll find that just like we can use our breath to help us do physical things, like sink deeper into a pose or hold a pose, and we can know the right breathing techniques, we can also use breathing techniques to help us get through stressful times, that we can actually just breathe ourselves forward and breathe ourselves through things, or like we use the breath to draw down a sense of privacy and to manage our thoughts. So I'm glad it's working. And did you take child's pose yet?
I did not. A couple things. I didn't feel like there was a natural, what's the word?
Segue into it?
Right. Like I felt like I would be doing something so out of the ordinary of what you were instructing us to do, and also I didn't want to miss out on the next move and what you were instructing us to do.
Okay, so again, that's great that there's that sense of enthusiasm about it. That's great. I think also that there is an interesting life parallel there, as you say that, that sometimes it can feel awkward to remove ourselves, to call in sick, and to say, I can't make it today. For a lot of us, in fact, it even can be in New York, I find true, that we are so enthusiastic, we are having so much fun, there is so much to do that it can actually feel awkward, and that's why I encourage people to practice taking a rest and to practice doing the breathing techniques and things, even when they don't necessarily need them, just so that they can be in the habit of practicing it. So let's do sun salutation one more time. We have just a few more minutes. We'll do sun salutation. So this time, I'd like you to practice taking it, just to, find a time and work it in. And you make an interesting point that figuring out how to rejoin after child's pose figuring out how to rejoin can find we lose our momentum, we lose our rhythm. So those are all good things to be aware of. We can even actually plan ahead to take a rest, which is one of the things in therapy that I encourage people to do, is to be able to forecast when would be the best time for me to take a rest, and how can I even plan to make sure that it happens. So Catherine, you had a good point there, that it's hard to know when to do it. So since we can actually think about it in advance, there's a few ways that we can even think about it. One would be, do I want to take it, say, during plank? If plank is always challenging, it would be perfect. I'll just plan to take it during plank. Another way to break it up would be, well, since I know that first we do the right side, then we do the left side, I can take a rest in the middle. Or even to just challenge yourself to just kind of be like, I'm just gonna do it like at some random time.
I know when I'm doing it based on the reason why I didn't do it in the first place, which is I'm going to do it after Baby Cobra, because as we were talking I realized it does feel really good as a stretch after you're doing something with your back, so I'm going to do it right after Baby Cobra.
That's the perfect time to do it, yeah. And so since you're planning that in advance, if you have it in your practice, it's up to you. I don't want you to push yourself, but if you have it in your practice to do upward facing dog instead of Baby Cobra, you can do that, and I can even show you how, so that, and again, this to me is the beauty of planning the stuff ahead, so that you'll really get that maximum spine inflection. Okay? All right, so feet together, hands in front of the heart. Feet don't have to be completely together if it's in any way painful for you, or if your hips are wider. For many women, a little bit apart is actually comfortable. But the idea is to just really think about your two legs being in alignment with your hips, and your hands in front of your heart. And on your next inhalation, open up to greet the sun. Did I say exhalation? I meant to say inhalation, sorry. On your next inhalation, open up to greet the sun. And on your exhalation, bend forward, lining up your 10 digits. Exhaling the right leg back into a lunge. Now see if you can keep your tailbone in the exact same place. So as you exhale your left leg back, try not to move your tailbone in space. That will help you to strengthen your core if that's of any interest to you. And exhaling down, you can either put the knees on the mat and then do chest and chin like we've done before, or you can slowly lower yourself down in a push-up. Now inhaling, you can go up into Baby Cobra, or you can flip the toes underneath you and lift up into upward facing dog. On your next exhalation, hips go back into downward facing dog. Exhaling the right leg forward to meet the hands. Exhaling the left leg forward to join it. Inhaling, opening up, sun salutation. Exhaling, hands come forward in front of the heart. Inhaling, opening up to face the sun. We're going to do the left side, folding forward. Next exhalation sends the left leg back to a lunge. Next exhalation sends the right leg back to join it. Now you can either do knees, chest, and chin down to the mat, butt in the air, or you can exhale a slow push-up and then coming up either into Baby Cobra or upward facing dog. Now exhaling the hips back into downward facing dog. Left leg comes forward. exhaling the right leg forward now to meet it. Hanging over. I encourage you maybe now just take ragdoll one last time. We're here for the last time today. See how that feels. Just checking in with yourself one more time. And inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, hands in front of the heart. Namaste.
Namaste.